The Soccer Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN and get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. Claim your t-shirt at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs. We're also brought to you by NYRA Bets. Get your $25 free bet for the Belmont by going to nyrabets.com/SGPN25 and use the promo code SGPN25. So some of you may have thought the season was done after the Champions League final, but it isn't, because we have some international football to cover, including 2 Nations League semi-finals. We also have World Cup qualifiers, and then we have the Club World Cup taking place from June the 15th. Begins on June the 15th. And there will be a futures preview here on the Soccer Gambling Podcast that will be done in studio at the end of this week. And then we will be covering the World Cup, the Club World Cup throughout. So we are going to continue to cover soccer here through this summer. There isn't going to be this long break that some of you might have expected because it was 2025. There is no European Championship. There is no World Cup. There is no Copa America. But there is a Club World Cup to cover, which will take us through to June. So it will be a very, very small break once again, just like it usually is when we have an international tournament. And as I said, on this show, we are going to primarily be focusing on those UEFA Nations League semi-finals. But we'll also squeeze in some World Cup qualifiers as well. You can follow me on X. Of course, I am the host here of the Soccer Gambling Podcast, and my X account is at SGP Soccer. That's at SGP Soccer. You can also follow the Sports Gambling Podcast Network on X at the SGP Network. That's at the SGP Network. And also the other account is at Gambling Podcast. That's at Gambling Podcast. The Stanley Cup final is here, and the Hockey Gambling Podcast is giving away an NHL jersey and $200 in SGPN gift cards. You can enter for free at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Stanley Cup. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Stanley Cup. Be sure to download the SGPN app. It is the easiest way to make sure you never miss any of our free picks or any of our free pods from any of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network shows. And also be sure to leave us a 5-star review as well, especially here for the Soccer Gambling Podcast, the winningest podcast on the SGPN. And if you are looking for additional free picks and free content from me, I will deliver that over on my Lock Betting podcast feed and on my Lock Betting YouTube channel. So be sure to search Lock Betting on both YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. But of course, if you are looking to get my official plays that go towards my tracked and transparent spreadsheet, head over to lockbetting.com. We have now hit that mark. 144 months in a row of transparent and tracked profit. Why is that a key number? Because 144 months is 12 years. It's been 12 years without a single losing month in sports betting. It's a tracked and transparent fact. Where I tell you to go and sign up, which is the website lockbetting.com. That's the same place where you can see all of the spreadsheets that accumulate to these 144 months. In recent months, I've made it even more simple for you guys because I've been posting the spreadsheets over on Instagram, which is a hub for everything that we do. The hub is at Lock Betting. There you will find the 3 latest spreadsheets pinned to the top of the Instagram account. If you scroll down, you can find more. It's easier to look at on Instagram than it is on the website because you have to open up a Google Doc. On Instagram, it's very clear and simple. It's all posted via screenshots, so you can comfortably see the type of bets we do, the sports we bet on, and most importantly, how we manage a bankroll. I say most importantly, but I also mean most impressively, because we do this without chasing anything. If we have a bad week, we have a bad week. We don't double down our stakes next week and make people increase their bankroll and investment into the service. We've done this sensibly. We've done it with 100% transparency. All of my spreadsheets are verified by existing or previous members who have benefited from this service. And we haven't led anybody down any kind of false path. I'm not one of these people that you see going on X or Instagram screaming from the rooftops every time we have a good day or a good week, and then suddenly keeping quiet when we have a bad day or bad losses. In fact, we talk more in our group chat about the bad losses because you can learn more from the losses and why you made those plays and why you wouldn't play anything again in that particular situation. If there is anything to learn from it, sometimes it can just be bad luck. It can be bad team selection. It can be a bad call by the refs, whatever it may be. But you do learn more from losses than you do from wins. I expect to win. I see myself as the best in the world that does this, and I don't think anybody can tell me that I'm not, because I have delivered a transparent and tracked profit for 144 months in a row. I've come here on this podcast. I've given out my leans. I've done that since 2014. I've been here for 11 years, and nobody can complain and nobody can say they haven't made money, major money, just by listening to these shows for free. So I claim to be the best in the world because I believe it, until you point me towards anybody else that can say that they have delivered and have delivered for this period of time and have delivered this level of consistency and have been as transparent and tracked about doing it over that period of time, then I will claim that I am the absolute best in the world. And this is the best service that you can sign up for. It blows away everything else that's out there by a mile. And if you want to get involved, head over to lockbetting.com. If you have any questions, just hit me up on the Instagram. As I said, it's a hub for everything we do. We post the spreadsheets there. We post free plays there. We post information videos there. It's also the best place to get hold of me. If you don't have Instagram, you can reach out to me on the X account I already mentioned, which is at SGP Soccer. That's at SGP Soccer. So let's move on with these Nations League semi-finals. The first semi-final goes down tonight between Germany and Portugal, where Germany are the 5-6 minus 120 favourites to win this game. It's 14-5 on the draw, and it's 11-4 here on Portugal. So Germany are strongly fancied here to get to the final. They're actually at 1-2 minus 200 to qualify outright, with Portugal at around about 6-4 plus 150. I don't think this is going to be easy for Germany. And I look back to how Portugal ended up exiting the Euros. They decided to implement a defensive and cagey game plan against the French. In the end, through being tight at the back and not giving anything away, they were able to create chances in transition on the counter. And Portugal probably had the better chances overall in that game, despite France being the team in the ascendancy, despite Portugal giving up possession of the ball. They decided to sit in and be compact, make themselves difficult to beat, and to create chances in transition, which they successfully did. They created the better chances. Unfortunately, they weren't able to convert those. It ended up going to penalties, and France ended up advancing through to the semi-finals at the Euros, and France in the end were beaten by Spain in 90 minutes. So Portugal have shown that they know how to play these big cup occasions, so the semi-finals, quarterfinals, whatever it may be. And I don't believe anybody will be taking their foot off the gas here. I believe that at this juncture, if you've got yourself through to a Nations League semi-final, you are taking it seriously. So with Portugal being able to frustrate France and to force them to penalties with that defensive approach, I think they'll implement that same approach here to frustrate a German side who I don't think are as good as France on paper. And also, they are actually missing some important players for this game in Jamal Musiala, Kai Havertz and Antonio Rudiger. They'll all be missing, and that is an important trio for this German team. So I'm confident that Portugal can give them a run for their money here. It'll be interesting to see if Portugal can pair up the PSG midfield here of Vitinha and João Neves, if they're actually going to play in this game. If they can, Portugal, for me, have the much better 11 on paper, and that gives them a great chance of qualifying as an underdog. And therefore, for me, I think there's great value on Portugal to at least avoid a defeat here in this 90-minute period. They will be able to be tight and compact. They have the players to do that, and they'll be dangerous on the break. And if they can create some decent chances for their attackers, including Cristiano Ronaldo, who's likely to start, then I believe they'll be able to convert one of those chances this time and put themselves in a position to qualify, or at least not to lose in the 90 minutes. So I think there's value on Portugal to avoid a defeat here. I'm going to take them at the price of even money plus 100 in the double chance market, not to lose to Germany in this 90-minute period. If you play this, if you take this lean, you don't care about what happens after that. So if it goes to extra time and Germany suddenly find a way to bring players off the bench and obliterate Portugal, then it doesn't matter to you. If Portugal go through, equally it doesn't matter to you unless you are interested in taking them as an underdog to qualify here from this semi-final tie. But my lean's going to be to take Portugal on the double chance market. They have better players anyway. They have all of their players available, and that may even include the Portuguese midfield duo of the PSG duo of Vitinha and João Neves, who are obviously just coming off winning the Champions League and being phenomenal in their roles throughout this season, and particularly in that competition and in the final against Inter Milan, where they blew Inter Milan away by 5-0. So I'm going to ride with Portugal here. I'm going to take them in the double chance market not to lose this game in the 90-minute period, and I'm going to take that at a price of even money plus 100 here for this one. Before we move across to our second semi-final, let me take this quick pause to tell you guys that Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. There's no usage fees, no minimums. You can earn cashback rewards, and you get 100% approval for all betting deposits as well. So sign up at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN, and if you sign up this week, you'll get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. So if you want that, head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs to claim your free t-shirt. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs to claim your free t-shirt. Let me also take this pause to tell you guys about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is going long for the NBA Finals with an extended bonus. Hop in on game one, and the longer the series goes, the bigger that bonus will get. So head over to Underdog and sign up with the promo code SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's underdogfantasy.com and the promo code SGPN. And finally, let me utilise this pause to tell you guys about NYRA bets. Bet the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga with NYRA bet. Sign up using the promo code SGPN25 and get a $25 free bet plus a $200 deposit match as well. Whether you're a seasoned bettor or you're just getting started, NYRA bets, make it easy to jump in on the action. This exclusive offer is just for the Belmont Stakes, so don't wait. Join now and claim your free $25 Belmont bet today at nyrabets.com/SGPN25. Moving on to your second Nations League semi-final. This is going down tomorrow, which is Thursday. If you're looking at time of recording, I'm recording this on Wednesday morning. And we're looking at Spain, the European champions, taking on France. Spain won this game at the Euros by 2-1. They won it from a goal down. They are the favourites to win again here at 13-10. It's 9-4 on the draw. And France are the 2-1 underdogs. Spain are the 8-13 favourites to win the tie and qualify overall, and France are available at 6-5 plus 120. That's a huge price on France for me. When I look at this French squad, and we've seen the French squad on social media, they were applauding the PSG players who were in the squad for what they did with the Champions League. And it was funny because Mbappe was pointing out Thuram not applauding to Dembele. Dembele obviously won it. Thuram didn't. He played for Inter Milan. And it was funny because Mbappe was pointing it out and how annoyed Thuram looked by the applause. But going back to my point, when you look around the room, this squad is absolutely stacked from back to front. The defence is amazing, the midfield is incredible, and so are the attacking options as well. They're loaded with Paris Saint-Germain players, and Paris Saint-Germain just won the Champions League, of course. And it wouldn't even be ridiculous if you saw a lineup that didn't have Kylian Mbappe in the starting 11. Now, obviously, that would draw attention. But if you're looking at the front three being Barcola, Dembele and Doué, two of whom started the Champions League final, Barcola's obviously lost his place in the lineup to Doué, and Havertz, who isn't French but is an automatic starter for PSG, did start in the Champions League final. But if you did rotate Havertz for Barcola, or Barcola started instead of Doué, that wouldn't be abnormal for PSG. And it certainly wouldn't be crazy to see France starting without Kylian Mbappe in one of these lineups. But I do think Mbappe will start this particular game because he is the captain. And this is important for France to re-establish himself as the superpower in European football. They do have the best squad. They do have the best 11. They were the side who reached the World Cup final just 2 years ago, which is probably why Deschamps kept his job, because they were very, very underwhelming at the Euros, despite the fact that they did reach that semi-final. They did end up losing to Spain, but they scraped through to the Euros without scoring the Euro semi-final, without scoring too many goals. Goal scoring was incredibly a problem for France, despite the fact they have all of these attacking players. And I just don't see how that's going to be something that continues onwards from this point. When you have these players in the PSG lineup that are so in sync, they're playing this style of football under Luis Enrique, it's now down to Didier Deschamps to utilise what he has and to play a more expansive and attacking brand of football with this French team, to scare teams, to actually go at them with Doué, with Mbappe, with Barcola, with Ousmane Dembele, whoever you decide to play, to make use of this very good creative midfield and these holding players who can protect your backline. And if anybody does manage to get through, then you have the likes of William Saliba back there. So this is an incredible lineup, and I do think the price on them to qualify from this tie at 65 plus 120 is too big. Spain's recent success hasn't been mixed with stellar defending. They conceded in all four of their knockout games at Euro 2024, including against France. And BTTS is actually a selection that's landed in 5 of Spain's previous 7 Nations League matches. And they face a French team here who don't have any injury issues and will be fully motivated here and will be looking for revenge after that semi-final loss. France came into that tournament as favourites, and by the time they actually played Spain were the favourites to win that game because France had been so underwhelming. For me, I felt that France, with the better players, with more experience, with the more experienced manager, would find a way to show up and just continue to grind out results. But you can only grind things out for a certain amount of time, and in the end, that method didn't prove to be successful for France. They need to play a better brand of football. These players need to be playing front foot attacking football. They are world class in every single department, particularly up top, and it's inexcusable for France not to be scoring goals. So I'm going to take France to score here, but I'm also going to take Spain to contribute towards the scoring. That lands me on BTTS, which is oddly available at the price of 10 to 11 minus 110, giving the attacking talents on the field. Usually semi-finals can be tight and cagey affairs, but even if this one is, I don't see either of these two teams keeping out the other, just like they didn't in the Euro semi-final. That was heavily leaning towards an unders game when you looked at France's previous matches, and suddenly we had 3 goals in the first half, and then we saw Spain shut the game down. So I'm going to go for BTTS here as my main lean. I think there's value on the selection when you look at the attacking players on the pitch, and we'll take that as our play here at the price of, as our lean here rather, at the price of 10 to 11 minus 110 here for this one. Before we close out by looking at some hand-selected World Cup qualifiers, let's take this quick pause to tell you guys about the Circa Resort and Casino Ultimate Fantasy Football Giveaway. Circa Ultimate Fantasy Football Giveaway. The Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas are giving away the Ultimate Fantasy Football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and to be treated like VIPs for their entire stay. You'll get a limo ride from the airport, a $500 tab for stadium swim, and a hotel stay for you and your 11 league mates. So be sure to enter the Ultimate Fantasy Football Contest for free at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA circa. Let me also take this pause to tell you guys about Rhythm. You've heard us talk about Rhythm before, but now they've come up with a game changer. They've got a feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI as well. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean, data-backed bets. Download the Rhythm app to get involved and check out Power Trends and start betting smarter. You know we will be. So, to get involved and to get your 7-day free trial, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM rhythm. And finally, we're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA Finals and including the WWE. I will be in studio this weekend at the Sports Gambling Podcast Network studio to preview WWE Money in the Bank. This is one of the biggest events of the year that WWE do. It's in the top 5. I would probably have it as the 4th most important event. I think it's now more important than the Survivor Series. So just ahead of WWE Money in the Bank, you have Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam, not in that order. But you get my point. This is an important event, and we'll be covering it over on the Fight Show. And you can bet on it over at mybookie.ag. MyBookie is the answer to a question I've been asked for many years. How do you bet on your WWE plays that you post out? You go to mybookie.ag. And now you go to mybookie.ag and you use the promo code SGPN because you'll get yourself a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. But that's mybookie.ag and the promo code SGPN. One more time. That's mybookie.ag and the promo code SGPN. So let's cover a couple of these World Cup qualifiers from the European World Cup qualifying campaign. I'm going to start with Norway against Italy, where even though Italy haven't kicked a ball yet in World Cup qualifying, they haven't played a single game yet, there is a possibility that they might not win this group because Norway have made an incredible start with a +7 goal difference from their first 2 games, and they obviously won both of those 2 games. They have a 100% record, and this is a tough start for Italy going away to Norway to play this game. Now, the way that this qualifying is set up, it's highly unlikely that we'll lose one of these big teams. So if Italy do end up finishing second in Group I, they will go through to a playoff. But it's far from a guarantee that they'll finish in the top 2 because Israel are also in this group as well. Now, do I think Italy will finish outside the top 2? No. Do I think Norway will win this group? No, probably not, because there's still a long way to go. As I said, Italy have yet to kick a ball. And if it comes down to the crunch at the end of the run-in, you can see Italy going all out to try and win the remaining games, which will probably lead to them winning the group. But at the moment, it is Norway who have the 100% record. And as a result of that, the odds are very, very tight. Italy do come here as a favourite, but only as a 5-4 favourite. It's 11-5 on the draw. And you can get Norway here at 9-5 +180 on the money line to win this game. Now, I'm looking at Norway and I'm looking at this squad of players, and I think they'll be desperate to play in a World Cup. Someone like Haaland, someone like Odegaard, it's criminal that they've not yet played in a World Cup. So they'll be absolutely desperate to get there. And the players supporting them, the supporting cast, they'll be absolutely desperate to do their part to make sure that these players do get to play in a World Cup. This is Norway's cup final. This is the biggest game that Norway have played for years. Because if you can win this game at home to Italy, you are in pole position to not only qualify for the World Cup, but you're in pole position to win this group, and Italy will be chasing. Italy will start with a loss from their very first game, and Norway will be in a position where they've got 3 wins from 3, they've got a 100% record, and they've won their biggest game against Italy. For that reason, I think it's well worth taking Norway in the draw no bet market, because you only lose money if Italy come to Norway here and win this game. And I don't think that's going to happen. So getting Norway here at even money plus 100 to win the game in the draw no bet market, where you win if they win, you get your money back if it's a draw, and you lose only if Italy win the game. So essentially you have yourself draw protection with you cashing if Norway have won the game. And you're not taking a team of mugs here. As I said, they do have Odegaard, they have Sorloth, they have Haaland. They've won their last 4 games, and they could take advantage of an Italy team who may be rotating here with a number of key players involved in last weekend's Champions League final. And those that did play may not be able to get themselves up for this game, given the fact they got beaten 5-0. In recent months, Italy have lost to Germany and France. And whilst Norway may not be in that category, they are coming up against an Italy team who are winless in their last 3 games, while Norway have won their last 4 matches, and Norway have also scored at least 2 goals in 6 of their last 7. That breeds confidence. That's form. And Norway bring that into this game. So for that reason, I'm going to take Norway to turn up for their cup final here. I'm going to take Norway as a pick. Norway in the draw no bet market. And I'll take them at the price of even money plus 100 here for this one. For our final game, we almost routinely have to cover the England game, because I'm English and English people probably expect me to talk about England. So do Americans as well. But it's only England travelling to Andorra, so it's a real reach to find a play here, with England being a 1-50 favourite. It's 20 to 1 on the draw, and it's 80 to 1 on Andorra. So obviously England win this game. It just comes down to how England win this game. Will they look impressive? Will Thomas Tuchel rotate and take this as an opportunity to look at players? I think he will. And I think that's beneficial for the play that I'm going to go with here. I'm going to take England to cover the minus 3.5 Asian handicap here at the price of 10 to 11 minus 110. Now, if it's rotated players, they'll be looking to impress this manager. And when you're looking at the type of players that England can rotate, it's a very impressive squad, and they should come in here and win this game comfortably. And if it's the established players and Tuchel just goes with the established players, then it will be embarrassing for them not to cover this handicap, which is available at the price of 10 to 11 minus 110. Andorra have never scored in 8 matches against England, and England come into this one having kept clean sheet in 6 of their last 8 matches. San Marino are the only team Andorra have beaten in their last 25. England already made a strong start to their qualifying campaign with a 100% record, and they've already beaten Albania and Latvia, and Andorra are significantly weaker than them. They had Harry Kane and Declan Rice on the bench last time out, and England were still able to win 5-0, and they're now coming up here against a weaker opponent. So if you see somebody like Ivan Toney playing in this game, he's just been reintroduced to the squad, and if you see him starting in this lineup, it shouldn't be anything to be concerned about. This is a player who scored 23 goals in the Saudi Pro League this season and has earned his way back into the squad. And it would be massively surprising to me if England don't go on to win this game 5, 6 or 7-0. So even though it's an end of season game, it's after the season, a lot of these players are playing in the Club World Cup as well. So they're still going to want to remain fresh. And it's only a couple of weeks removed from the season, so it's not like you're pulling these players off the beach. So I look for England to get this done, no matter who starts, whether it be the established players, whether it be the rotated players, whether it be a combination of the two. There's absolutely no way England shouldn't score 4 goals here against Andorra. And simply scoring 4 goals should be enough, which is why I've gone for the handicap instead of the team total. England's team total of over 3.5 is priced up at 7 to 10, but I'd rather take the handicap instead, because I don't think Andorra will contribute towards the scoring, and that bumps you up to 10 to 11 minus 110 by taking England to cover a minus 3.5 goal Asian handicap here for this one. Closing out with your lock on the show, I like everything that I've spoken about on this show. That's the thing about these types of shows where it's selected games. Obviously, the Nations League games weren't as selected because they're important games, key games that you felt like you really had to talk about on this international show. But the lock actually comes from one of them, and I'm going to take BTTS, both teams to score, in a game between Spain and France at the price of 10 to 11 minus 110. I cannot see these attacking lineups keeping each other out. And as important as the Nations League is when you get to the semi-final stage, it's not the Euros, it's not the World Cup, it's not the Champions League, and therefore I don't see that element of caginess to it. I think this will be a much more wide open game than people are expecting. I think it's going to lend itself to both teams scoring, and we take that as our lock here at the price of 10 to 11 minus 110. That's it for me. Good luck with all of your bets as always, and thanks for listening.